What's up? What's up? What's up? You too. Welcome to Meek Bill. Okay, guys, so this is a continuation of a story that I told almost a year ago. And I actually recorded it back then, but I never uploaded it. I decided to go ahead and upload it now in light of the incident that recently happened between the substitute teacher and the teenager at school. Please know that this story is for entertainment purposes only. Although it is true, I do not condone any teacher putting their hands on a student and vice versa. It's your girl, Mixtape Fly, and I am back because I realized that I left you guys with somewhat of a cliffhanger, and I never did finish telling y'all the rest of the story about the time that the little 7th grader tried to fight me. So I was like, you know what? Let me get in here and just finish telling the story. Actually, guys, you know what? It's really not that much left in the story. I think when I left off, and if you haven't already seen the first part, obviously you need to go and watch the first part so you know where we at. So anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like she was Lil sis was hot. You know what I'm saying? She was all riled up or whatever. And so she had to like cross the threshold or like cross in front of me. And so when she crossed in front of me, she stopped and she looked me up and down. And I was thinking to myself, all right, now run up and get done up. That's all I'm trying to say. If you run up, you're going to get done up. So anyway, she looked me up and down or whatever. And the teachers across the street, the teachers across the hallway saw she was carrying on or whatever. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just getting off work. I did a 12-hour shift today, and your girl is kind of sleepy. So anyway, the teacher across the street, the one who, you know what I'm saying, like had the bags. I don't know if I told y'all this part, but like teacher across the street had like a little crush on me. I think he taught like social studies or something like that. And anyway, he used to sell like knockoff purses from the trunk of his car. No shade to anybody who has ever purchased a knockoff bag, because I myself have. So, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, he had like a little crush on me. So he saw what was going on. So he was like, hey, girl, you leave that lady alone, man. Come, go, girl. Get out that classroom. So he's trying to tell her to go ahead and leave the classroom. And I'm like, hey, you better get her. Like, by that time, the hood hadn't came out. Like, every bit of professionalism that I had was out the door. And I had to come to where she was at. She was in the hood. I had to meet her where she was. So anyway, she ended up, the teacher, it was him. He was trying to like call her to tell her to come out of the classroom. And it was also another teacher that was in the classroom next to him or whatever. She had already got on the intercom and called to the office or whatever. So they was pretty much like expecting her in the office. So she, you know what I'm saying, just walked by or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She stopped. She looked me up and down like she was sizing me up. And then she kept going. And I was like, that's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? I ain't say that to her. Because, you know, in actuality, I should have been trying to de-escalate the situation. And I really was, you know. But like I said, we was face to face. Old girl was already acting like she was going to try to be physical. So I had to like mentally prepare for that. But I, at the same time, wasn't trying to provoke her, if you get what I'm saying. I just wanted her to leave the classroom. So she ended up leaving the classroom, and she actually got suspended. Not only did she get suspended, but my little cousin who actually started the, you know what I'm saying, the argument with her, he got suspended as well. I think she got like 10 days and he got like 3 days. So remember I said that I was the substitute teacher for the remainder of the school year. So when she came off of suspension, she ended up coming back to my classroom or whatever, or she was supposed to come back to my classroom, but throughout the time that she was gone, she was real close friends with one of the other students who was like my mentee. Like this girl right here, this is my little boo or whatever. She took like a strong liking to me, and I did too, you know, I to her. So I kind of took her under my wing as like my little mentee or whatever. And she like doing things like writing in journals and stuff like that. So I used to buy her journals. If she got in trouble, or like if the teacher kicked her out, she didn't have any classes with me, but if like her teacher kicked her out of the classroom or whatever, or if she just didn't want to go to a class, she would come and sit in my classroom with me, and I would like give her little stuff to do, like, hey, you come sit in here, write in a journal. I just don't want you to be roaming around in the hallway getting in trouble. So she was like best friends with a little girl that, you know, tried to square up with me or whatever. So she would send little messages back like, hey, tell Miss So-and-so that I'm sorry. You know, tell her that to forgive me. You know, please ask her to forgive me. You know, I didn't mean it. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, of course I forgive her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to hold that against her. I know that I remember what it's like to be a teenager, and I know that you were provoked that day. I wasn't the one who provoked you, but I understand it. Like, I get that the kid was bothering you, and you know what I'm saying, had it up to here. So I understand, you know, it's no love lost or whatever. So we ended up being cool after that, you know what I'm saying? And I treated her just like I treated all the other kids. Those kids was my babies. Like, do not get me wrong. Them was my little boos or whatever. For that short period of time that I had them, it was probably like maybe 2-3 months. I don't know. I don't even know if it was that long, but whatever the case may be. Those were my little boos. And so it's funny because remember I told y'all that they, my first day, they was like, what school work? Like, we're not doing no work. And I was okay with that. I was like, all right, well, if y'all don't want to do no work, just as long as y'all, you know, keep it cool and don't get in trouble, I don't care. Like, y'all can play on a computer. Well, my silly self didn't even take into consideration the fact that at the end of the school year, we was going to have to turn grades in. So sure enough, we got a notification from the office like, hey, teachers, I need everybody to turn in the grades, la, la, la. So I'm like, grades? What grades? Like, I haven't been keeping grades on nobody. I haven't even been giving them work. So I ended up like calling my sister-in-law, panicking like, oh my God, what I'm supposed to do? They asking for grades and I don't have no grades. And she was like, it's above me. Like, I gave you everything you needed. I told you exactly what you were supposed to do. So why do you not have grades for them? And I was like, she was like, listen, you can either fail all of them, or you can make up like little assignments. Like, it's really up to you. You can give them whatever grade you want to at this point. Okay, so quick sidebar. Just FYI, in case you didn't watch part 1 of this story, this was an elective computer science class. So when the kids decided that they didn't want to do any work in the class, I was like, okay, well, fine. Y'all can play on the computers and we'll just leave it at that. It's nothing that I could do about it. I'm out on maternity leave. So I was like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Because I was not about to fail all of them. Like, that was my fault. The fact that they didn't have any grades, even though they was like, yeah, I'm not doing the schoolwork, I should have tried harder to enforce it. And I didn't. I didn't try to like really push them. I was supposed to be the responsible adult. But like I said, y'all, I was only like 23, fresh out of college. Teaching was not my major. You know what I'm saying? So I should have been the adult in the situation, but I was like, all right, well, shit, y'all don't want to do the work, that's on y'all. So, but again, because of the fact that I didn't really try to like push it, I wasn't finna fail them. So what I did is I just gave them like the easiest, most simple assignment. Like, I think I told them to write me a letter or do like a creative writing assignment, like anything. If they did anything, if they put any kind of effort into an assignment, if it was, you know what I'm saying, they put like strong effort into the assignment, I was going to give them A. they put some effort into it, I was going to give them a B. If they did anything, I was going to give them a C. Basically, I decided that nobody was going to get less than a C in the classroom. So I remember it was kind of like right before the last day of school or whatever, and I had each student come up, you know what I'm saying, and give me whatever they had, a little presentation, and then I just gave them their grade on the spot or whatever. And then, you know, I wished them well after that, and it was all good. Me and the little girl, we ended up making up, you know what I'm saying, and it was all good. Like, all was well. I often wonder about her. I often wonder about my little mentee as well. I wish I knew what they were doing today. Oh yeah, so I actually did get in contact, or I actually ran into my mentee, not the little girl that wanted to fight me, but her best friend. I ran into her, and she's doing wonderful. She's a mommy. She has 2 little boys, and she's really successful now. So shout out to her. I don't though. I don't. I hope they okay though. I hope all of them are okay. Cause like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's special when we work with our own kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we work with kids that excuse me, we can relate to, and they can relate to us. It's so special. So it would really be dope to like run into one of them. Watching my mom be a teacher for so many years. I always get a kick out of hearing like when she'll be like, "Oh girl, I ran into one of my students today. I taught them when they was like in 5th grade, and now they married with kids." And you know, it just makes her day. So same thing, you know what I'm saying? I would like to see some of them. But anyway, y'all, I'm sorry if part 2 of the story was kind of anticlimactic. But it is what it is. Like, we of course, I did not fight no 7th grader. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really, to be honest, I don't think she really wanted to fight me. She was just, you know how they say you be smelling your own musk when you get to a certain age. I think she was just smelling her own musk, and she was in front of her peers, and she couldn't go out like no punk. She couldn't go out like no punk in front of her friends, so it was what it was. So anyway, that's the end of that story, guys. I see y'all for the next one. Deuces.